Hi everyone, Scott with CyberScribe.org, and in this video I'm going to show you how to configure standard access control lists, or ACLs. And there's two ways to do it. You can do it with a name by giving your ACL a name, or you can do it by giving it a number. And what we're going to do in this video here is we're going to do a numbered ACL. A little bit simpler. So ACLs, if you're unfamiliar with them, are exactly what they sound like. It controls access to some place on the network, so it's going to filter the traffic. Standard access control lists, you see I got all my IP addresses here. Standard is a layer 3. It's going to be controlling access that way. So you're going to be typing in, the networks that you want to allow, the networks that you want to deny via the IP addresses. Okay. Extended access control lists, ACLs, that's for a future video, and that filters at layer 4. So you can say, like, I want workstation 3 only to reach server 1 with HTTP port 80 traffic, or administrator 2 should only be able to reach server 1 via SSH. But that's extended access control lists. Standard ACLs, think IP addresses. Okay. Also for standard ACLs, standard ACLs, the practice is your destination for your traffic is going to be server 1. Okay, we want to control the access to server 1 to this 10.0.0.0/30 network. So what you want to do for standard is you want to place your control list as close to the destination traffic as possible. So the destination is going to be server 1, because administrator 2 and workstation 3, they're going to try to connect to server 1. Server 1's your destination. The router closest to the destination is R1, and that's where we're going to place that standard access control list. So let's get started, and we'll enter in a couple commands, and I'll just kind of show you how we go through and create that list. So we're in global config mode, and that's where you create it. So we'll just do some context sensitive help, and you see we're going to just give it a number 10, but 1 to 99 is your number range for standard access control list. And then so your extended access control list would be 100 and above. And more stuff to look at there. So permit, deny, or remark. Remark is just a comment, so you can put that in, you can not put that in. It's kind of your choice. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to permit administrator 2, that computer. We're going to permit that access to the 10.0.0.0 subnet up there. We're going to say permit, and then we're going to look, and host is a single host address, so that's what we want. Okay, but we could also do the whole network. So this time we're going to go with host. So we're going to say host, because we only want administrator 2 to access it. And then let's see what else they want. Yeah, the IP address. So let's put that in. Okay. Notice that I don't need to put anything else in after that. I don't need to put in a wildcard mask. Okay. All right. So that's our first statement for the access control list there. Next one we're going to do, we're going to say that workstation 3, that whole subnet we want to deny. Okay, so let's do that right now. So access list 10. 10 is the number of your access list. So when you write the statements, you got to make sure that that 10 number, or whatever number you choose, is the same. Okay, then we're going to say 192.168.50, because that's the subnet, .0. And then here is the wild, hold on. I need to deny first. Deny 192.168.50.0, and then you need to do the wildcard mask. So the wildcard mask here is 0.0.0.255. Okay, and how you got the wildcard mask is you take 255, 255, 255, 255. You subtract that from the subnet mask. Okay, in this case it's 2550, and you get 0.0.0.255. Okay, so that is your wildcard. Quick way to get that. All right, and we're done at this point, but one thing you have to understand is there's an implicit deny at the end of your access control entries. That's what the lines that we just wrote out, ACEs, access control entries, that's what they're called. But there's an implicit deny at the end of that. So a good practice to do is to explicitly state that deny, so that if you're troubleshooting something later and you might be forgetting about that the implicit deny, and then you get caught up and all that kind of stuff. So let's go access list 10 deny, and then host name, we did that. We did a host, and we're just going to do any for this. So any other traffic is explicitly denied. Okay, if I didn't put this traffic, or if I didn't put this entry in right here, the behavior of the ACL would be the same. So just remember that. Implicit deny, okay? Okay, just keep that in mind. So right now we have our access control list. So let's go do show access. We'll do show access lists, okay? And you see there we have 3 statements. Now 10, 20, and 30, those are just the numbers because I put permit 192.168.0.10 first. Well, that's got a number 10. So we're going to change this later on and delete some stuff, but you're still looking at access list 10. You're not looking at like access list 10, 20, and 30. Okay, so that's, your number is right there. Okay, so now that is set. Now we need to put it onto, apply it to an interface. And let me just show you real quick about this. So interface fast Ethernet 00. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're controlling access to this server here. All right, so we're going to put it on R1. Well, where do we want this to go? Okay, we're going to be permitting traffic on administrator 2, but we're going to be denying traffic from workstation 3. Okay, you see they're on 2 different interfaces here. So say, oh, you put it on this one here. Well, number one, you're going to be not taking administrator 2 into account. But then again, if you deny all workstation 3 traffic, all subnet traffic here, on this side, okay, that means that you can't get to server 1 or administrator 2. All right, so if you're looking at this and you say, well, where should you put it? You know, I mean, maybe you know where to put it right now, or in a minute or two you'd get it. Well, where you're going to put it is you're going to put it on F00 right there, because that way workstation 3 is going to try to get to the server, but it's not going to. But it can still get routed to administrator 2, and administrator 2 still can get to workstation 3, and it can get to server 1 right there. Okay, so let's let me show you the statement for that. So you go IP, and we got into fast Ethernet 0/0. So IP access group. All right, 10 is the number. Now let's see what it says: inbound or outbound packets. Okay, so you got to apply it on an in or an out, inbound or outbound. Well, here the packets are going to be going right before it reaches the server, so that is going to be outbound. Okay, if you were, say you were doing it for some reason, let's just forget all this other stuff, but say you wanted to filter packets from workstation 3 and you had it right here, okay, but you wanted to filter these packets, well, that would be inbound. Okay, so you kind of see if it goes before it gets to the router, filtering, or after it passes through the router, that's your outbound. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. And just a quick little tip: you have to practice with these things. You have to do them a couple times and see what works and break stuff, and then, you know, after a little bit, then you'll get a better idea than just watching a video or two. But, you know, hopefully after this you'll be able to get started doing these things. IP access group 10 out. All right, now we should be good to go on that with this access control list. So let's go here. This is my virtual PC simulator. You see 1, 2, and 3. Well, 1, 2, and 3 are 1, 2, and 3 right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's just do a ping right now, 10.0.0.2, and this is from administrator 2, and it should go. Okay, and the second timeout, the first timeout is because of ARP, and the second timeout is because of that access control, or vice versa, either way. But if I do a ping 10.0.0.2, it'll come right away. Okay, administrator 2, that's where we're going from, and remember we specifically permitted that one. So let me just show you right there. We permitted right there. Okay, so that's why it got through. Now let's go to workstation 3, and let's try a ping this time. So ping 10.0.0.2, and we're pinging server 1. See that? Communication administratively prohibited. So it's not going to allow anything through, and that's the access control list denying that. Okay, so one other thing, let me just show you here. Okay, well, we did the whole, so it's denying this whole network here. Okay, now let's say, well, something happened, I did that, but I want to change it. I want to allow this whole network to go through. A couple things that you need to do. First thing, let's go back to the router here, and first thing we're going to do is go IP. Okay, so what we're going to do now is change ACL. Okay, we'll verify it with just do show IP, or not show access, show IP, or show access lists. Okay, so I did a couple pings here, 10 matches and 10 matches over here. Okay, so it was denied 10 times and it was permitted 10 times. You can these are the counters. You can play around with those two. You can reset them as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go IP access list, and then we're going to say standard because that's what we did. This is how we're going to get into our access control list and change it. Okay, and then it's going to say the number or the word. So our number was 10. We didn't do the word. Okay, now we're there, and let's just do it again. Do show access list 10. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to remove number 20. So I'm going to say no 20. And then let's go and say do show access list 10. You see 20 is gone. Okay, so then what we want to do is we're going to enter in another command here. We're going to say 20 permit host. Now let's just permit the whole network. So the whole network, we're going to say 192.168.50.0 and then the wildcard mask. Okay, and then let's just do a do show access list again, and you can see right there it's working. Okay, so all it is we just went into the access control configuration with where are we at? IP access list standard and then the number. We hit a no 20, right? And that was no 20 right there. And then we just did another 20. You can't, the best practice here is to delete it first and then re-enter it again. Okay, so that's what we did. And then we showed it again, and right there, it's working. So now let's go back to Virtual PC Simulator. Okay, we're at VPCS 3. And let's see if this works now. Okay, we'll give it a little bit. And it's working. So, like those two timeouts, the first one is for ARP and the second one's for the ACL. So let's do ping 10.0.0.2. And it's working, okay? And the reason it's working now, see that VPCS3, right? Hold on. VPCS3, okay? Remember, we tried that already from the other one. Okay, when we had the first ACL that we didn't work. Administratively prohibited. Then we changed it, and now VPCS3, workstation 3, now it works, okay? So, and it's all right here. That's all we did, okay? So, now let's go and we'll just do another do show access list. And you can see we do have new matches for that, new counters for that new permit statement. All right. So that is a quick review, a quick introduction to standard access control lists, and we did it of the numbered variety. So that's all I have for this video, and stay tuned for future videos.